to Market on Close. I'm Marley. Kayden here in Chicago alongside Sam Vadas at the New York Stock Exchange. We'll close out this Thursday the way we usually do with some thoughts on the session today. The longest government shutdown in history is finally over. The 43-day-long funding impasse officially ended last night when President Trump signed the bill into law shortly after it passed in the House. Now, while the shutdown is over, the funding issues have not been dealt with. This deal is just a stopgap. This bill extends last year's spending levels through the end of January for most of the government, and it provides funding for some agencies through the end of next September, including SNAP payments. It also includes a measure to reverse layoffs the administration proposed during the shutdown, provides back pay for federal employees, and institutes protections against further layoffs. What was not included are extensions for subsidies provided by the Affordable Care Act, which of course was a central issue underlying the entire shutdown. And despite the shutdown ending, we may not ever get the data that we missed during that time. What we did get, though, is new foreclosure numbers today, and they could spell trouble for the housing market. New foreclosures jumped 20% in October from a year ago after sitting near historic lows. Completed foreclosures jumped 32% year over year. Florida, South Carolina, and Illinois led the nation in foreclosure filings. Texas, California, and Florida had the most completed foreclosures during that month. Now, it is important to note that there is still very strong demand for homes, especially in the lower price ranges, so it is likely that these foreclosures could find buyers quickly. Now, Sam, what caught your eye during today's session?
Well, among the sea of red, there was a little bright spot in technology, and it was the Chinese name Alibaba alongside this broader tech sell-off that we actually saw. It's reportedly now preparing to overhaul its main AI app to make it more in line now with ChatGPT. According to Bloomberg, Baba plans to start by updating its Tongyi app and rename them Qianwen or Qwen, the name of the company's AI model or the LLM. It will then gradually add features like shopping on Taobao, which is its marketplace, in the coming months, so with the goal of Qwen becoming an AI agent and taking it global. Now, we were also watching shares in Tencent today after posting better than expected double-digit revenue growth of 15% for the quarter. Operating profit also coming in higher than the street's estimates. Revenue from Tencent's core business, gaming, marketing, and social media, growing 16% year on year. Its rapidly growing international gaming sector jumping 43% year on year. Now, Tencent, this is where it gets interesting, has been ramping up capex this year to boost its AI and cloud services to compete against the US. Now, the company is pushing into AI world models, which simulate physical environments like 3D generation. So Tencent is joining a number of US tech companies like Google and XAI, which are exploring this technology and has been described as the next frontier of AI. I can't believe that. I mean, I don't even think we've established this frontier yet before we even get ahead of ourselves. But heading into tomorrow, what will you be looking out for, Marley?
You gave me quite a setup there on the frontier of AI, because I'm looking at quantum computing, ticker QUBT. They've got their earnings. You know, quantum computing sort of sits firmly at the front of whatever this next industrial revolution is going to be. Wall Street expecting a loss of about 6 cents per share on roughly $117,000 in revenue. Now, not big numbers there, maybe not a big move, but investors will be watching for any signs of commercial traction, new partnerships, or tech milestones that could indicate the company is moving beyond the lab. Analysts also say that cash burn, balance sheet health, and forward guidance will be key in gauging whether Quantum is on track to scale its operations. Now, shares of Quantum were heavily under pressure today, closing about 10% lower, along with a lot of its competitors. But, you know, a very interesting time with Quantum as this next emerging technology. What will you be looking for, Sam?
Well, I'm sticking with the China theme. We're going to be getting some key data tonight, the monthly economic activity indicators, jobs and home prices. I watch this very closely because it tells us a lot about the consumer, the property market, the manufacturing sector, and investments, and how they're holding up in the world's second biggest economy. So it has implications for regional markets, global markets, and commodities. The market is expecting to see a broad slowdown across retail sales, industrial output, and fixed asset investment as the property sector continues to drag. And we'll also hear from more Fed officials. Jeff Schmidt from the Kansas City Fed is expected to speak. This will be an important voice, Marley, after dissenting against lowering the interest rate by 25 bips last meeting, and he would have preferred to have left it unchanged. So let's see what he says tomorrow.
A lot of focus on these Fed speakers in the absence of this data, but that's going to do it for us today on Market on Close.